Hi, everyone. Welcome in. Thanks for joining us today, everyone. As we're waiting for folks to join in, as the number is steadily increasing, feel free to tell us your name, what school you're from, and why you're interested in an academic internship here at the park. Feel free to put that in the chat at the bottom of your screen. You'll see a little button. And make sure the to line is set to all panelists and attendees so everyone can see your introduction. Thanks for joining us today. Welcome. We'll probably get started at about 5 after, around 2:35. Hi, Derek, welcome. For folks who are just joining us, feel free to introduce yourself and tell us your name, what school you're from, and why you are interested in an internship in the chat box. Hi, Neo. Hi, Vincent. Or if you know what internship you're already interested in, you can put that in the chat as well. Who are you excited to hear from? What position have you already been looking at? We're excited to hear from you and have you all here. So thanks for joining. Hey, Brett. Good to see you. Hi, Liam. And also panelists, we have a lot of our intern mentors here from all over the park. So if you would like to introduce yourselves in the chat as well, that would be great. If you want to say maybe what organization you work for, what position you'll be talking about today, anything works. Cool. Seeing a lot of different majors and interests: conservation and sustainability, stewardship, public affairs, ecology and conservation. It's awesome. For folks who are just joining us, everyone is kind of just introducing themselves in the chat box, your name, what school you're from, and why you're interested in an internship, and maybe what position you're interested in. We're going to get started in just about a minute. While we're waiting, you can enjoy the serene nature sounds, music that Becca's playing for us. We're excited to have you all here. Hi, Riley. Hi, Maya. Thanks for joining. Hi, Adrienne. All right. Becca, if you want to pause our music so we can get into it, I think we'll go ahead and get started since it's 2:35 and we have a good amount of people here. All right. Thank you for joining us today for the Academic Internships webinar. We're excited to have you here. So we're going to go ahead and get started. But before we get into it, I do want to acknowledge that there's a lot of heaviness today in the news cycle, and you might be feeling overwhelmed and anxious and a multitude of other emotions around the conflict. So I just want to let everyone know, just take care of yourself while we're together for the next hour and a half. Take breaks. And if today doesn't feel like the day to be listening to presentations on internships, just know that this webinar is being recorded and it will be posted to our YouTube channel within the next few weeks, for you to watch later if you want to do that. So we're all here to support one another. And on that note, we are recording this webinar just so everyone knows, just for a little heads up. But we'll start with some intros. And who am I? I'm Mackenzie. I'm the program manager of park internships with the Golden Gate National Parks Conservancy. And my colleague Becca is here as well, and I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Mackenzie. Hi, my name is Rebecca Au, and I'm a volunteer and internship coordinator here at the Golden Gate National Recreation Area. I'm super excited to offer these internships with you along with Mackenzie. And we also have Denise in the webinar who will introduce herself.
Thanks, Becca. Hi, everyone. So excited that you're here. Wow, what a great crew. We already have 76 folks here. It's super exciting. It's exciting to see all the interest. So I am a senior director for volunteers and internships at the Golden Gate National Parks Conservancy. And I'm just really excited to be part of this. And I think I'm handing it back to you, Mac.
Yeah, thanks, Denise and Becca. So, of course, before we jump into the exciting part of the webinar, we're going to quickly review some Zoom functions just in case folks aren't used to the webinar format. So the images that you see here on this slide are hopefully similar to what you're seeing on your screen. And because it's a webinar, there are limited functions on your end. But at the bottom left-hand, in the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see the audio settings where you can select a speaker, you can switch to phone audio if you need to, etc. You can explore that section. And then if you look towards the middle, you'll see the chat box, which you should use to interact with us and your classmates. Like right now, if you haven't, it would be great if you can tell us your name, what school you're from, and why you're interested in an internship. And make sure to select all panelists and attendees in the to line to make sure everyone can see what you enter into the chat. Next to the chat is the raise hand button, which you can use during the Q&A portion of the webinar to come off mute and ask a question if you need to. But we would prefer if you put all of your questions throughout the mentor presentations in the Q&A box. So you'll see the button that says Q&A. If you click on that, you can enter questions, and you can enter questions at any time during this presentation, and we'll do our best to address them at the end. And then lastly, if you do need live captions, please click the button that says live transcript, and that will turn them on for you. But if you are still having any problems, we have our lovely tech support, Denise here, that will help you. So if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat box, or you can text Denise at her phone number, which I will read off to you. It is 415-902-1919. Denise, if you want to put that in the chat, that would be great. Awesome. So you can feel free to text her for any tech support you might need, or put questions in the chat box. Again, make sure it says all panelists and attendees when you put something in the chat. All right. So as you'll see at the bottom of the chat, Denise put our agenda for today in there. So we'll start off by getting a brief program overview from Becca, and then I will go over some more program specifics, as well as the goals of the program and the timeline. We'll then move into the mentor presentation part of the webinar, where we'll hear directly from all the park staff mentors. There are about 15 or 17 mentors here ready to talk to you, and they're going to tell you more about their specific positions that they'll be offering this summer. Again, throughout the presentations, you can feel free to put all of your questions in the Q&A box, and our mentors will be around at the end to help answer them. And all questions are great questions, so don't hesitate. And then we'll wrap up the webinar today by 4 p.m. So to kick us off, I will pass it over to Becca to give us an overview. Thanks, Becca.
Thanks, Mac. So the Academic Intern Program at the Golden Gate National Recreation Area, Fort Point National Historic Site, and Muir Woods National Monument is a fundamental park program, providing professional development and career pathway opportunities for young people while supporting real needs of park management. It's a program that is developed in partnership by a team of awesome folks at the National Park Service, Golden Gate National Parks Conservancy, College of Marin, San Francisco State University, City College of San Francisco. Throughout this program, local and diverse cohorts of college students are engaged in immersive park experiences to enhance classroom learning. Internships are open to all enrolled students and majors from San Francisco State, City College of San Francisco, and College of Marin. Interns will receive a $75 daily stipend and an opportunity for academic credit. There are a wide range of positions that are available, many of which you'll hear more about today. These include positions working with business management, education and youth programs, volunteer program management, communications and media, natural resources, historical interpretation, public affairs, park planning, and much, much more. Internships vary from part-time to full-time and include opportunities for specialized training, professional skill building, and career development. But before we dive into each specific position, Mackenzie will review program specifics with you all.
Thanks, Becca. All right, so some details before we get into it. Again, this program is open to students from our 3 partner schools. So we welcome students from City College of SF, San Francisco State, and College of Marin. And to qualify for this program, you must be actively pursuing a degree, a certificate, or have intention to transfer in any major. And you should be planning to enroll for either spring, summer, or fall 2022 classes. So these internships are really meant to be directly tied to your studies, although we do accept students from any and all majors at these schools. This program will run for a total of 10 weeks this summer, starting in late May and running until early mid-August. And there are 3 required onboarding and orientation days that I do want to note. And these days are required for interns to attend, which are Tuesday, May 31st, Wednesday, June 1st, and Tuesday, June 7th. These days will be likely fully virtual, but as things evolve with COVID, there might be a possibility of a few in-person sessions. There are more than 20 positions available, which vary from part-time to full-time, and the positions also vary in if they're fully virtual, fully in-person, or a hybrid of both. These positions are located in the 3 Bay Area counties our park touches, including San Mateo, Marin, and San Francisco counties. Academic interns receive a stipend of $75 a day and the opportunity to earn academic credit. There are also a multitude of enrichment and training opportunities for you to participate in as an intern, some of which will be required, but there are so many more that are really just encouraged and a great opportunity. Other benefits of participating in an internship include gaining real work experience, hands-on training, professional workforce skills, leadership skills, and a lot more. But working here in the park, you'll also create a wide network of professionals who might be even potential connections for future job opportunities. All right, so we have 6 focused goals for our internship programs here at Golden Gate. And the first is really what these internships are all about, which is creating immersive opportunities for young people to gain work and leadership skills through practical experience, interactive learning, essential skill building, and specialized training. Another really big one is the greater engagement of local youth who have been historically underserved in our national parks and public lands, particularly local youth of color, as well as youth from lower socioeconomic means. These internships encourage and provide a ladder of learning and career pathways through community building, alumni engagement, and professional networking. We are working to cultivate our future workforce and next generation of leaders, as well as offer transformative experiences that build deep connections to our public lands, all while providing support to meet fundamental needs of park management and operations. Now, this is a lot of information, but just as a reminder, all of this is being recorded and we'll send out all of this information after the webinar as well. Okay, so now to get into the mentor presentation part of today, we're joined today by all of the mentors who will be hosting academic interns this summer, and they're here to speak to you directly. They're really excited to tell you more about their positions and help answer any initial questions that you may have.
And don't forget, questions are encouraged. We will be going through these presentations rather quickly. There are 3 sections. The first will be interpretation, education, and museum programs. Secondly, we'll have stewardship, community science, sustainability, nurseries, and biology. And last but not least, visitor resource protection and public affairs. Each mentor will have about 1 to 2 minutes to tell you about their position. Please use the Q&A box to ask questions throughout the mentor presentations, and we will address them at the end during the Q&A session. So without further ado, I'll pass it back to Mackenzie to kick us off with our first group of positions.
All right, so our first section today is interp and education and museum programs. And we'll kick off the presentations today with Maya presenting on her digital media position. So Maya, over to you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Maya Rodriguez. I'm a digital media specialist at GGNRA. And this digital media internship is an opportunity to join the park's media team. Digital media is a unique part of interpretation and education at GGNRA. So in this internship, as you learn about and interpret the park's history and untold stories and environment, you will apply that knowledge to the digital space, essentially. So the ideal candidate for this position will have the desire to improve their web and social media writing skills, or maybe you have some already. They'll be a creative person, a flexible thinker, have the ability to work cooperatively across different teams, because the media team supports so many different divisions and partners in the park. And so in this position, you will have the opportunity to kind of polish those skills, work on your research and creative writing skills. Opportunities for videography and photography are also common, as many interpreters and park staff create visual and in-person programs and events. So if you're somebody that's already into those things, or you're an iPhone photographer, this would be a great opportunity for you. The intern will also develop professional media for inclusion in a resume or portfolio. So if you're someone that's kind of exploring careers or still figuring things out, this would be a good opportunity to kind of build your resume and your experience. And so lastly, I just wanted to say that in our virtual world, media is really important. So the balance of in-person and virtual work will kind of depend on the case and the project. But if you're a creative person who wants to help the national parks and reach out to new audiences, this would be a great internship for you. So as I mentioned, it could be in person or at home. So it's pretty flexible and depending on the projects that you're working on. But I think that's my time. So if you have any questions, just let me know. I'll be here to answer your questions.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Maya. That's great. All right, I think we're moving on to Fatima. Over to you.
All right, well, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. Hello, everyone. My name is Fatima Colindres, and I'm a park ranger with the community outreach team at your national park, the Golden Gate National Recreation Area. I would like to invite you all to join our team this summer. If you would love an opportunity to practice your public speaking skills, maybe learn a little storytelling, and learn to work with diverse communities in an outdoor setting, then this is the internship for you. The community outreach team partners with community groups to connect new and underserved audiences to our beautiful park sites. We provide transportation, recreational opportunities, and interpretive programs. So this summer, we will be collaborating with the San Francisco Public Libraries and with the YMCA to bring and inspire diverse age groups to the outdoors. So if this is for you, then please sign up and join our team. So if you have ever wanted to work in the Golden Gate National Recreation Area, but you just were not sure what site to choose, then join our team this summer, because our team works at different sites. We bring the park to the people and the people to the park. Sometimes we deliver programs at community sites, and we also bring participants to multiple park sites here in the Golden Gate National Recreation Area, like Alcatraz, Muir Woods, the Presidio, Christie Field, Fort Point, and Marin Headlands, just to name a few. So anyways, we look forward to working with you this summer. We're also looking forward to the grand opening of the Presidio Tunnel Tops, where we'll be delivering programs this summer as well. So I hope to see you soon as part of our National Park Service family, and of course, the community outreach team. Thank you so much. I look forward to hearing from you and answering any questions you may have.
Thanks so much, Fatima. Okay, passing it over to our tag team, James and Roger.
Hi, I'm Ranger James O.
And I'm Ranger Roger, and we're interpretive park rangers in the southern areas of the Golden Gate National Recreation Area. Now, the southern areas is the parkland south of the Golden Gate Bridge, including the Presidio of San Francisco and Fort Point National Historic Site. We are looking for 2 visitor experience interns who are excited to share stories of our diverse natural, historical, and cultural resources to visitors of all backgrounds.
If selected, you will have the opportunity to greet and welcome visitors to park sites, develop public programs on relevant park stories that focus on diverse history. You'll assist with social media and work with park rangers in day-to-day operations. The focus of this internship will be professional development. You'll expand your network and develop skills in communication, public speaking, and park management. It is also an opportunity to gain experience in the realm of outdoor education, environmental and social justice, public service, and federal careers.
There are many new and exciting opportunities to help visitors enjoy one of the most beautiful places in the world, and we hope you'll consider being a part of our Southern Areas team. Thank you all.
Thanks, James and Roger. Okay, Adrian, are you there?
All right. Yeah, I'm here. Hi, everybody. My name is Adrian Boone. I'm a park ranger and volunteer coordinator here at Muir Woods National Monument. Muir Woods is the largest old growth redwood forest next to a big urban population city like San Francisco in the world. We work in a fast-paced environment here. We have a visitor front desk orientation station where we orient visitors to our trails. We swear in junior rangers, and we ensure people are following park rules. The summer months are the busiest time of year at Muir Woods. The site sees over 1 million visitors a year, with parking often sold out weeks in advance. Other duties here are answering the phones in the office with visitor questions. You could be out walking and roving park trails and doing a 15-minute tree talk discussing the ecology of the redwoods, salmon habitat and restoration work being done in the park, and the history of how Muir Woods became a monument. In this position, you would get to learn ways to communicate with people on how best to protect park resources and be able to inform them on why we have park rules in place by having an increased knowledge, of course, of the fragile park resources. Some of the things I like most about working here at Muir Woods is being outside with the giant trees, to hear the water in the creek flowing, and meeting people from all over the world and seeing their expression and excitement when they see the giant coastal redwoods for the first time. I also enjoy the fact that I get to learn every day more about the unique plants and animals here in the park, and also, of course, the long human history dating all the way back to the Coast Miwok Indian tribe, and also the history of Spanish colonization, and of course, the other Indian tribes from the area. So if you enjoy being outside and learning and sharing with others the natural and cultural history of the Bay Area and working with visitors from all over the world in a fast-paced work environment, then please apply for the Muir Woods Visitor Services Academic Intern position. Thank you. And let us know if you have any questions, of course.
Thank you so much, Adrian. That's great. All right, Al, over to you.
Hi, everybody, and thank you. My name is Al Blank, park ranger in Marin Headlands and volunteer coordinator. It'd be great to have you come visit us. Ironically, I happened to see a TV show yesterday called Family Feud. I don't know if anybody's familiar with it, where audience members, 100 people are asked a question and find out the number one answer. And the question happened to be, if you visited Golden Gate National Recreation Area, what would you want to do? And the number one answer, unbelievably, was to be an academic intern in the Marin Headlands. We have a lot going on. For instance, we have a nuclear missile site. You know, with everything that's going on today, we have a relic of the Cold War, Nike nuclear missile site that's been totally reconstructed. Fantastic place to learn about what happened, what's going on. We have a lighthouse, walk over 2 bridges through a tunnel, out to a lighthouse, the Statue of Liberty of the West. Gun batteries dating back from Spanish-American War all the way to World War II, 16-inch guns and all. If you want birds, we got the raptors. We have the animals, cultural, natural. Everything is in the Marin Headlands, camping. What we are looking for is someone to be one of us, to join us in our quest for knowledge, not only for ourselves, but for our visitors, to give that knowledge to others, to teach not only ourselves, but again, our visitors. It's a wonderful opportunity. The Marin Headlands is an amazing place, so close to San Francisco, with so much to offer. You'll be one of us, you'll work with our staff, and everything we do, you'll do, from working in a visitor center to operating a missile system. So if you are interested, please join us, let us know, ask any questions. We're always around, we're here, and I look forward to hearing from you, and hopefully one of you will come out and join us. I think you all have a great day, and wherever you wind up, you're in a great place. Thanks a lot.
Thanks so much, Al. What a coincidence, that Family Feud question. Just wow.
Wasn't that amazing how it was on yesterday? Couldn't believe it.
How can I follow that up, Al? My goodness. I'm Amanda Williford. I'm the curator and reference archivist for the Golden Gate National Recreation Area, as well as all the units that it helps manage, Fort Point and Muir Woods. We currently have the 3rd largest museum collection in the National Park Service, numbering at about 6.2 million items, and those all need some loving care and attention. So hopefully you are interested enough to join us to help make that happen. This internship is part-time. We would prefer in person so you can get some hands-on training, but there are some virtual opportunities to help supplement that as well. It isn't the entire Indiana Jones experience that people expect from working with archaeology or museums, although we do have some pretty cool and awesome things to take care of. But there are some very basic things like housekeeping and pest monitoring, rehousing materials that we also get to take to enjoy, and make sure that these materials are available for future generations as well. So projects can include cataloging historic materials, digitizing photographs for research requests. Sometimes we have to go and paint rooms to make sure that they are prepared for collection storage, or moving pieces of furniture that were constructed on Alcatraz, cleaning Nike missile cables. We kind of cover all of the park. And so if you have a deep love of history, this is a really great opportunity to do that. So if you have, if you would like an opportunity to nerd out, we are your perfect program for doing that.
Thanks so much, Amanda. All right, Becca, I'll pass it over to you for our next section.
All right, so up next we got stewardship, community science, sustainability, nurseries, and biology. I think I'm gonna call Yak up.
Thanks, Rebecca. Good afternoon, everyone. So happy to be with all of you. My name is Yakuta Poonawala, and I'm the Associate Director for Community Stewardship and Engagement. And I'll pass it to my colleague, JM.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm Jane Marie, and I am also on the Community Stewardship Engagement team with Yakuta. And another team member here with us is Martha.
Hi, everybody. Martha here. I'm a program manager with the Community Engagement team, and I am excited to be with you all today.
Thanks, JM and Martha. So we have a wonderful invitation for all of you to join the Community Stewardship and Engagement team, where the heart of our work is truly rooted in serving communities across Marin, San Francisco, and San Mateo counties of the park. And our focus, our primary goals are to create those positive, warm, welcoming park experiences for our communities who often have barriers accessing the national parks. We help in building trustful relationships. We engage diverse voices through storytelling and just sharing our collective lived experiences through programs. We work in a very collaborative environment. We hope that you will be enjoying that collaborative environment through this work, whether it's through different teams in the park, through agencies, through community partnerships. And really creating opportunities for connections to the parks through engagement, outreach, land and water community stewardship activities, and restoration.
So community engagement and outreach can look like taking our Roving Ranger, which is our mobile visitor center, out to different neighborhoods to support community events and programs, or bringing community groups to our parks on shuttles. It could also be partnering with local organizations such as the public libraries or Latino Outdoors in really co-creating culturally relevant and impactful programming for their participants. So this can look like a healing hike or taking them on a walk to our story walk. And our story walks are a children's book that's been placed along a trail. So programs in each of these counties can vary. It just depends on the need of these communities.
Our stewardship programs really aims to connect and welcome people to parks through service learning opportunities and engagement. And this can look like leading wildflower hikes, a hike really on natural and cultural history, assisting with community science projects, or a combination of both.
And restoration would include helping with volunteer restoration programs to protect natural resources through planting, removing invasive species, and much more. And the sites that you will tend to nurture to will vary, but each of them will be rooted in community work.
The internship position will have virtual and in-person components. We are based out of Fort Mason, but there will be a vehicle provided for transportation between park sites. So if you enjoy being outdoors, want to learn more about the park's natural and cultural resources, and have an interest in building authentic and inclusive community engagement and outreach programs, and want to work on your public speaking skills, facilitation skills, then we would love for you to consider working with us on the Community Stewardship and Engagement team. And we are here to answer any questions. Feel free to add them on the Q&A section. We hope to see you soon.
Thanks, Yakuta, Martha, and JM. Look, I mean, it sounds really exciting. People in the chat are buzzing. I'm going to pass it over to our garden managers, Sheila and Natalie.
Hi, my name is Sheila Fritz, she, her pronouns. I'm the Senior Program Manager for Alcatraz Gardens and Black Point Historic Gardens. You'll also be working with my colleague, Natalie Korengold, who's not here today, but she's actually running a program. So our position will be split between Alcatraz Island and Black Point Historic Gardens at Fort Mason. Both are easily accessible by public transportation, and there is a free ferry to Alcatraz provided. Our internship is in person, either full or part-time, and we are looking for 3 interns to work with us. What I love about my job is working outside every day and the variety of tasks I get to do. So gardening, working with volunteers, talking to the public, and really connecting people to plants. Interning with us in the historic gardens, you'll experience an introduction to caring for a garden within a national park. So there's a nice mix of history with horticulture. Working with us, you'll be outside, you'll get to experience both of the gardens, and you'll see the difference between the two. Alcatraz is more established while Black Point is still being planted. So you'll really be able to plant the plants and then come back in 5 years and tell somebody that you planted that and really be a part of it. You'll learn horticulture skills, be able to identify common garden plants, monitor pollinators, and have an introduction to managing volunteer work days. And you'll be a part of building a community of diverse volunteers that we rely on to help care for all these gardens. And as a plus, you'll get to network with other park rangers at both sites. Please ask any questions you have about this internship in the chat, and I look forward to meeting you.
Thanks, Sheila. Sounds wonderful. Okay, calling upon Laura Castellini.
Hello, everyone. My name is Laura Castellini. I'm the Sustainability Coordinator for the National Park Service at Golden Gate National Recreation Area. And the Sustainability Intern will work with me in the Planning and Environmental Programs Division of the park. And the intern will assist with policy and planning for a range of sustainability programs and projects throughout the park. And a lot of the focus in summer of 2022 will be around climate change and sustainability, education and outreach. So I'm looking to have some help on written items for newsletters and other written outreach, helping plan for some guest speakers or other sort of town hall discussions, and maybe even help with a video production. But you'll also have opportunities to work on specific sustainability related projects, depending on your interest, either energy or water conservation, transportation, solid waste diversion, other projects like that. And we are also having discussions about updating our climate change action plan. And so you might be able to participate in some policy discussions around that. And I'm also planning to host a high school intern at the same time. So you might have some opportunities for mentorship and kind of almost being a mentor for them and helping out with that. So this internship will probably be a combination of virtual and in-person. We might do some work together from home and then meet up and do some site visits or field work. And, probably the amount of that depends on what the COVID restrictions are looking like at the time. And the skills that you'll gain from this internship range from sustainability planning and implementation of projects to collaboration, communication, and it's really fun because it depends on the day, a wide variety of things, and it's always new and interesting things to talk about. So I am looking forward to hearing from you, working with you, and I'll look forward to answering any questions you have. Thanks.
Thanks, Laura. And tossing it over to Megan to talk about our nursery programs.
Hi, everyone. My name is Megan Steinharder. Pronouns are she and her. And I'm one of the nursery managers at the Golden Gate National Parks Conservancy. There are 3 of us. And our nurseries range from the Marin Headlands down south to Pacifica. So it's a really exciting opportunity to get to work in the parks nurseries if you join us. By interning with the nurseries, you'll experience an introduction to collecting seeds, growing California indigenous plants, and you'll also be learning about botany, horticulture, environmental education, plant identification, and volunteer management. A desire to work with youth and adults of all ages is greatly appreciated, as we are working with volunteers regularly in the nursery program. A typical week includes a volunteer program, some seed collection, transplanting, plant care, pot washing, and so much fun outdoors. This job is like 99% outside. So if you love the outdoors, it is a great fit for you. Our internships are full-time and in person. However, we are open to discussing part-time options if your schedule does not allow for full-time. These positions will be split between two of our nurseries, the Presidio Nursery, located in the Presidio, and the Marin Headlands Nursery, which is located in the Headlands near, oh my God, I'm blanking on the beach, but whatever, it's up there. There are options for help with transportation, depending where you are coming from. And the Presidio Nursery is accessible by public transportation. A little bit about what I love about my job is working outside, nurturing plants, working with volunteers, and exploring the park while seed collecting. This internship, if you love hiking and you love exploring, like I don't think any other internship will offer you as much of that as ours will, because we will be doing a lot of seed collection this summer, where you'll get to explore everywhere from the Headlands down south to Pacifica. So definitely a really great job for people who love getting outside and hiking. So if you are interested in getting your hands dirty and being outdoors, this internship is absolutely the perfect fit for you. And we hope you will join us this summer. Thank you.
Thanks, Megan. I think the beach you were talking about is Rodeo Beach. And I'll pass it over to Timothy.
Hey, everyone. My name is Timothy Federal. I'm the Senior Programs Manager for Stewardship and Restoration at the Conservancy. Also have another outdoor heavy internship opportunity. So our team works really closely with the National Park Service Natural Resource Team, as well as the Community Engagement Team and the Nurseries team to protect and enhance and restore habitat for our native plants and animals with participation of local community members. We work on stewardship projects across park sites in Marin, San Francisco, and San Mateo counties. And interns on our team will be working in the field to pull weeds, collect data, and overall just improve conditions for our threatened and endangered species that we have in the park. Interns will have also get an introduction in working with and engaging community groups and leading community stewardship programming and volunteer management. Ample opportunities to work outside, learn local flora and fauna, data collection, how to use and care for tools safely, how to work outside safely, and get your hands dirty protecting our parklands. Most of this work will be in person and outdoors. Our office is based in Fort Mason, but we will have vehicles available for access between our different sites and stewardship projects. So if you have any questions, let us know. And if you're interested, we'd love to hear from you. Thanks.
Thanks, Timothy. 2 positions available for this one. All right, and next is Sarah, our local bee
Hi,
expert.
everyone. I'm Sarah Leon Guerrero, and I'm one of the community science program managers at 1TAM. 1TAM is a land management collaborative comprised of the National Park Service, California State Parks, the Marin Municipal Water District, Marin County Parks, and the Golden Gate National Parks Conservancy. I'm sorry, my cat is demanding attention. I'm really sorry about this. 1TAM combines the skills and resources of its partners to support work that is vital to the health of Mount Tamalpais, enriches the experience of its visitors, and inspires and educates a new generation of stewards. Our internship is all about bees. This year, we are monitoring wild bee populations in the Golden Gate National Recreation Area and Point Reyes National Seashore. And we're looking for someone to assist our team with fieldwork, scientific collections management, and volunteer program delivery. You'll get to learn the basics in California wild bee ecology, insect conservation, bee identification, as well as best practices in data collection, management, and quality control. You'll develop essential skills as a field biologist, including safety, planning, navigation, field communication, equipment management, and protocol implementation. You'll also develop skills in community education and science communication. You'll get the opportunity to work with staff and volunteers from diverse backgrounds that share a common interest in preserving and protecting our natural lands. Oh, and of course, you'll get to be outside and enjoy the scenery, wildlife, and cultural resources of 2 spectacular national parks. So again, I apologize for my cat. You'll probably get to see her a lot in any meetings you have with me, but we look forward to hearing your questions and meeting you soon.
Thank you, Sarah. And up next after bees, we've got birds with Lydia.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Lydia D'Amico. I'm the Alcatraz biologist for the Park Service. And with this internship, not many people know this, but Alcatraz Island has one of the largest nesting waterbird colonies inside the San Francisco Bay. So with this internship, it's on Alcatraz Island. It's geared towards people who have an interest in natural resource management, avian ecology, conservation. So this internship will be assisting me with our nesting bird monitoring programs, which includes data collection on the different bird species nesting on the island, taking detailed observations of breeding behavior, nest outcomes, and helping with other opportunities of handling birds, assisting our research partners with their monitoring work, and doing outreach with the visitors talking about the birds of Alcatraz. So some skills you can expect to gain from this internship are learning about seabird ecology, learning about breeding and nesting behavior of birds, bird ID and interpretation of seabird ecology. And one interesting thing about Alcatraz is that it's just a really unique location. It has a very rich natural history and cultural history. And so you'll be learning a lot, both on the natural history side of things and on the cultural history as well. So thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lydia. And I'll pass it back to Mac for this last section.
Thanks. Thanks, Lydia and Becca. So we have, last but not least, our final section of presentations for today, visitor resource protection and public affairs. So I'm going to pass it over to Red to kick us off.
Am I on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're on.
Okay. So welcome everybody. My name is Randy Mason. Everybody calls me Red because of my glorious hair color. But I am the fire marshal and fire and explosives investigator. We don't call it arson anymore for the entire national park. You might be thinking, why would I want to intern with the fire marshal's office? One, because I'm a pretty cool guy. Two, you get to see everything and anything inside this park. It ranges all the way up from Point Reyes, all the way down to Flagler Estates, all the way down the coast and up it. Part of the job, I deal a lot with inspections of buildings. I deal with historical architects, cultural architects, believe it or not. A lot of things that are outside the box, I deal with it. I deal with fire alarm systems. I deal with arson investigations. Just unfortunately, I had 2 last week. But this is an in-person position, full-time. You will be provided a vehicle. Don't worry about it. I'll teach you everything you need to do. I am the only fire marshal for the park, all of it. So I spend a lot of time, about 95% of it, driving everywhere. You don't have to be a fireman. I did that for about 20 years, and then I jumped over into the fire marshal side of the house. And with that, you might be thinking, why would I want a career in fire protection? Well, it involves everything. When I jumped over to the fire marshal's office, I actually took a job at the U.S. Department of State. And lo and behold, I traveled to 126 countries around the world, including Ukraine, unfortunately. But if you want to know my personal opinion, what's got 2 thumbs and got the coolest job in the park? This guy. Apply. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Red. Okay, For our final presentation, I'm going to pass it over to Julian.
Hey everyone, I'm Julian Espinosa, Public Affairs Specialist at Golden Gate National Recreation Area. Did you know that GGNRA is one of the most visited national parks in the country? That's in part because of the media coverage our park regularly receives. Most of that exposure comes in the form of news media. The public affairs team works with print and broadcast journalists on stories concerning a variety of topics. We treat every news story as an opportunity to provide the perspective of our organization and highlight how we serve our community. Another responsibility of our team is to communicate directly with visitors about park operations, which includes everything from planned improvement projects, area closures, and park policies. We do this proactively on our website and social media and in response to specific inquiries that come to us by email or phone. Both of these responsibilities require strong communication skills and a professional attitude that balances the needs of our organization. In a given day, you might expect to work on a news release, draft a social media post, answer visitor emails, edit photos and videos for publication, and collaborate with other staff on new content for the park website. Now, I said before that most of our media exposure comes from news coverage, but if you've ever seen the TV shows The OA or Devs or the movies Finch or the new Matrix sequel, you know that the park is also a popular place to film. This internship is co-managed with the Office of Special Park Uses, which is responsible for our permit program that covers commercial filming, commercial dog walking, and any of the hundreds of events that take place in our park each year. The intern will help the team by monitoring events, scouting filming locations, and indexing past permit data. With all that said, if you're passionate about writing and research, if you're looking to get into public affairs or mass media or event planning, this internship is a great opportunity to refine your skills and learn how to communicate about the complexities that affect land management agencies. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Julian. All right, everyone. So those were all of our mentor presentations for today. So now that you know all about these opportunities, you might be wondering, how do I apply? So here are the details for you. Applications are open, have been open for about a week now, and they're open until March 24th at 5 p.m. So exactly a month from today. First step is you can find all the list of all the available positions and their descriptions on our website at parksconservancy.org/academic internships. If you go to that page, there's a drop down that says, I think it's like summer 2022 academic internships. If you click on that, the full list will show up, and then you can click on each one to see the full position description. And you can choose to apply to up to 3 of the positions. So once you've decided which you're most excited about to apply to, you'll submit the online application form, as well as email your resume and cover letter to our main academic intern email, which you'll see here. It's academicintern@parksconservancy.org. We are asking that you email your resume and cover letter in a single PDF file if possible. That just makes it a lot easier for us to organize them. But just FYI, only one cover letter is needed, even if you're applying to multiple positions. Just make sure to make it really clear which positions you intend to apply to in the letter. And again, we'll be following up with all of this information after the webinar in an email. So don't feel like you need to rush and write everything down. All right, so that brings us into our Q&A portion of today's webinar. So I've been seeing some questions in the Q&A box. So I'm going to pass it over to Denise to help us facilitate this section.
So we've answered a lot of questions by typing the answers. So if you look in the answered, so in the Q&A, you'll see open, answered, and dismissed. We haven't dismissed anyone's questions. And those that we've answered, if you go to the answer tab, you can see some of those answers. I'd like to start with the ones that haven't been answered yet, so that we can get those answered, and then we can go back if we have time to review the already provided answers. Does that make sense? Okay.
Perfect.
So Adrian wanted to know what kinds of field work is involved with working with the bee specimens for the 1TAM internship. Sarah, I think that's over to you.
Yeah, good question. So it'll involve our fieldwork schedules are every Thursday, and you'll be alternating each week between going out to sites within the Golden Gate National Recreation Area, which looks like we'll be in kind of the Marin Headlands area, over, kind of Tennessee Valley area, as well as maybe as far out as like Bolinas Lagoon, if you're familiar with Marin geography at all. If you're not, that's all meaningless. But essentially, you'll be going to these really beautiful places within the Golden Gate National Recreation Area. You'll either be hiking out to these sites or driving on fire roads. So you will be required to have a driver's license, a valid driver's license. And we'll provide training on things like 4-wheel drive and trucks and all those types of things. And you'll also be heading out to areas in the Point Reyes National Seashore, areas like Tomales Point, kind of Drake's Esteros area, gorgeous national seashore. You'll get to see things like elk, but a lot of this field work initially will be done with either myself or my supervisor, Lizette Arellano, who had a conflict and couldn't be here today. And then after that, you'll be doing that work either with one of us or on your own individually. So getting to spend all day hiking out to beautiful national parks areas. And then, there will be lab work associated with that, as well as volunteer program delivery. So you'll kind of get to see this whole life cycle of this project. So I hope that answered your question.
Thanks, Sarah. Okay, Jen had a question. I'm specifically interested in the native plant nursery internship and noticed in the description that there are Friday virtual workshops. If I am unavailable on Fridays due to a work schedule, is this a deal breaker? I'm going to first, I think this is actually a general question for all of the internships, but I'm first going to hand it to Megan to see if she wants to specifically answer for the nurseries, and then I'll hand it over to Mac and Beck to talk about generally.
My understanding is that the Friday virtual workshops are a general thing for all interns. So I'm going to hit it back over to Mackenzie. It's not a requirement for the nurseries. So Mackenzie, why don't you take that one?
Yeah, so the Friday workshop series is just a general training and enrichment series. It's basically every Friday we offer different trainings on natural and cultural resources, federal jobs workshop, so many different things. And this summer, it's really up to you and your mentor to work out if you're going to attend every single Friday. Every single Friday is not going to be absolutely required by us who are managing the program. There are going to be a few Fridays that are required, but it's up to you and your mentor to decide what your schedule is for the summer. They really are encouraged to attend just because they're really cool trainings. But a lot of them are also recorded for you to watch later if your internship schedule doesn't allow you to attend that Friday.
So can we say it's not a deal breaker?
Yeah, we can say it's not.
Yeah, I'll just jump in and say that the nursery program is really flexible, and we like to work with people the best we can based on your needs and your schedules. So don't let any blocks stop you from applying. It's definitely still worth it, and it's something we'll talk about when we get to interviews. Thank you.
Thanks, Megan. Mac. Nia wanted to know, do the positions stay the same each summer? I'm hoping I won't have to rely on public transit next summer to apply to one of the bee and native plant nursery options. I'll start and say that many of the internships are offered year after year, and then we have some new ones that get offered too, like REDS. So, and Mac, Becca, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, they're different every year, as Denise said, and some of the positions will require a driver's license or a car to have reliable personal transportation, just because some of the sites, unfortunately, are kind of remote and don't have the best public transportation. So just make sure to look on each position description. It will say if a driver's license or personal transportation is required for the position, but then some of them don't require that. So just make sure to look at that on each PD.
Thank you, Mackenzie. Anonymous, when will we know whether or not our applications were accepted? Mac,
Good
is that a you question?
Sure, yeah. So the application, I don't have the timeline pulled up, but the application deadline is March 24th, so a month from today. And then the next 3 weeks after that is the interview and the interview process that the mentors will be reaching out to folks who they want to interview. And that's the next 3 weeks. So within that time frame, or maybe a little bit after that 3 weeks, you'll hear back from the person who you may have interviewed with for next steps. So there's not like one set date, but within the next 3 weeks after your application is submitted and the deadline passes.
And everyone will hear back.
Correct. Yeah.
As to whether they were invited for an interview or not.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, we don't want to leave anyone hanging.
So, is there a potential to continue working for the GGNPC after the end of internships? There is always the potential. There's no guarantee. This is not a direct move into a job, and that would depend on whether or not positions are open. We also want to encourage all of you who participate to continue with your academic pursuits too. We don't want this to be a sidetrack to what you're already pursuing with the colleges. Anybody want to add anything to that?
So I think that was great.
We want this to be a springboard and a lift and to enhance your academic path. Okay. Anonymous, I think I heard that you have to be enrolled in one of the mentioned colleges, but could you possibly be a very recent graduate and still participate in the internships? Oh, and Becca is in process with typing an answer to this. Becca, do you want to answer?
Yeah. Am I unmuted? Okay, great. Yeah, so for this academic internship program, yes, you do need to be enrolled because of the requirements of this program. However, we do have other internship programs that we do recruit for, and you can reach out to me and I'll paste my email in the chat and I can give you those other opportunities.
Thanks, Becca. Adrian asks, with the Community Stewardship Engagement Internship, what have been some of your favorite opportunities, programs, or moments with communities that interns may get to be a part of as well? And who should I hand that over to? Yakota, Martha, Jane Marie, sorry. I never call you Jane Marie, so it's Jam.
I can start, and JM and Martha, please feel free to fill in. There are just so many programs and moments that come to my mind. So I would say every time you're outside in the field with community, engaging with the land is my favorite moment. But interns do really get to take leadership on building community through various stewardship programs. And thinking creatively about how we can engage our communities. And so one program that comes to my mind is we started to build a beautiful partnership with a few local community groups, one of them being Latino Outdoors and another one was Green Muslims. And both focus on empowering their communities, the Latinx communities and the Muslim communities across the country to connect with the land through cultural connections. And so we celebrated some festivals as part of our stewardship programs, where we celebrated Dia de los Muertos and created an altar at the trailhead and asked all our community members to bring photographs of someone they had lost. And then we did a planting program to plant in memory of someone. So there was an instant connection. And similarly, with our Muslim communities, we did a similar program where we celebrated a festival and talked about what it means to bring faith and religion into this work. And so those were some of the highlights, because there was a clear connection. There was an aha moment. And I'm going to actually invite Jim to talk a little bit about this story walk program, because those have been some very, very beautiful moments too.
Yeah, so our story walk started with our library partnership with the San Francisco Public Library, and we're hopefully in the process of expanding that into possibly Marin and maybe eventually San Mateo counties as well. But essentially a story walk is just taking pages from a children's book. It's the entire book, but we put it on a trail in one of our parks. So you can experience the park while reading a book. And that's really what our team is about. It's finding new and engaging ways for people to connect to parks. And story walk is just one way that we do that. And yeah, similar to what Yakuta said, it's just really fun and inspiring to connect people who normally don't get to experience these parks, and helping them find a way that feels meaningful to them. And we're learning that can look like many different things and come many different ways. So it's definitely fun, it's exciting, and very, very meaningful.
Thanks, Jim. Martha, would you like to add anything? I know you had a brilliant program on Saturday.
Yes, to everything you both said. I think one of the most rewarding things that I think the interns will get out of this internship is being part of a community that helps communities connect to parks. For me, it brings joy to my heart and puts a big smile on my face to see others form their own connection to the natural world. And we really do that in our team. We really build connections in so many different ways, and there's endless opportunities for you all to be a part of that. So hopefully we'll get to see you out on the field with us.
Thanks, everyone. Okay. Sol asks, when applying up to 3 positions, do we have to submit a separate cover letter and resume or one general one? Mac, I think that's a you question.
Yes. So when you're applying for, say, 3, you only have to submit one resume and one cover letter. Just make sure that you're noting which positions you intend to apply for in that cover letter. And on the actual application form as well, you'll select what positions you're applying for too. So it'll be obvious there as well. But yeah, just one is totally fine. You don't need to write like 3.
Thank you, Mac. And Annette, Julian says thank you, or Julian, Annette says thank you. I had it backwards. And just for those of you who missed it, Annette had asked if this involves, the communications internship involves planning music festivals in the Golden Gate Park. And Julian said, not exactly. Golden Gate Park is managed by the city rather than the National Park Service, but the Special Park Uses team at the National Park Service, GGNRA, does plan similar large-scale events like the San Francisco Marathon. Anonymous, are weekend days required for any or all internships? Mackenzie?
Yeah, great question. So it really just depends on the internship position. Some of the positions do work with like host community volunteer days, and some of which are on a Saturday. So it's really up to whatever position you're applying for. And most of the position descriptions will have those details in there. And if not, if you have a specific question about a position, like if that's gonna make or break you applying for that position, feel free to reach out to me and I can direct your question to that specific mentor. So some will have weekend days and then some might be Monday through Friday. Just depends.
That's all we have in the Q&A right now. I can go through some of them that have already been answered.
Yeah, maybe we go through and just bring forward some of the important ones that would apply to everyone.
And while Denise is looking at that, I'm curious now, mentors, if there is weekend work for your position, maybe we can just have a raised hand to kind of get a pulse of that. All right. Okay, attendees. So you note the mentors that have their hands raised. Those are all the weekend warriors. Thank you.
It looks like about half.
Yeah.
There were a number of questions because we hadn't gotten to the application details yet, but just so that you know, you can apply, you can find all the application details and all of the information on all the positions at parksconservancy.org/academic internships. And you can also, if you have questions, you can email academicinternships@parksconservancy.org. That sounds a little confusing when I say that out loud.
Thanks, Denise. And I'm seeing some chats.
Great.
That attendees can't see who raised their hand. I think it's only us as panelists who can see. So I can just name out loud.
I just changed the view to gallery, Mackenzie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can folks see with that view?
It looks like yes.
Okay. Sweet.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Becca.
Mm-hmm.
Technology always throws us some curveballs. Do I need to have a work permit to do an internship? Are all internships unpaid? You don't need a work permit if you're over 18 years old or over. But for the academic internships, you do need to be enrolled at City College San Francisco, San Francisco State University, or College of Marin. And academic internships receive a stipend of $75 per day. Someone asked if for Alcatraz and Black Point Gardens, will we have an opportunity to work with any machines and tools? Megan answered that you'll work with hand tools mostly, but Sheila, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, good question. It'll be mostly hand tools and your typical gardening stuff like shovels, pruners, saws, loppers, just the basic stuff. We do have a garden car that you will not be able to drive. And if you are over 18, perhaps we'll ask for your help. If you can drive a car to the site, we may ask you to for that, but not required at all.
And Sheila, stay on the line. Do I need to be a botany major to apply for the Alcatraz and Black Point Historic Gardens internship? This is from Isabel. I'm aiming to ultimately become an not easy for me to say, anthropological archaeologist, but I'm really interested in the work being done there.
Yeah, absolutely no plant knowledge required at all. We will teach you everything. And as long as you have an interest in learning, then that's all we ask.
And that's generally true for all of these internships. Would you all say? Thumbs up? We just want folks, you just have to have an interest. And even if you have another major, but you want to explore another interest, this is the time to do it. And you can get some real, tangible, hands-on experience and see maybe if you want to change directions a little bit. So we just need some enthusiasm and interest. There is a question from Mayara. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. If internships are open to international students, that's a really good question, Mayara. We actually are trying to clarify that information. So if you are an international student and you are interested, please email us at academicinternships@parksconservancy.org. And as soon as we have clarity on that, we are working with our human resources and our finance teams to find out what details and options there are for this. We can give you the information specifically, and once we have it too, we will post it on the website and the FAQs.
Yeah, and Denise, you just mentioned the FAQs. On our website, there is a specific page called Internships, Frequently Asked Questions. So if anything comes up after this webinar that maybe we didn't address, I would encourage you to check out that page first. It has a lot of good information on there. But if you don't find your question on there, feel free to email the academic intern email that's listed on that page.
Afreen, I also not sure if I'm pronouncing your name right, and my apologies if I did not. What is the difference between full-time and half-time? Does full-time go beyond summer? Also a very good question. These are all great questions. All of the internships are 10 weeks long. That doesn't change, but what does change is how many days per week you are interning. So full-time is 4 to 5 days per week, and half-time would be 2 to 3 days per week. And I think, did I miss any? There was a question at the beginning about the National Park Guide position. Becca, do you want to mention that?
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, there are other internship positions that this park hosts. And some of the mentors on this call mentioned that they're going to be having either a high school intern or different programs. So if you want to hear more about that, my email is in the chat. This webinar is specifically for the academic internship program. Thanks, Denise.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, anyone can feel free to raise your hand and I'll take you off mute to ask a question. Do you have anything else? These are all really good questions. Okay, I don't see anything else. So that'll wrap up our Q&A session. Thanks everyone for participating and sending in your questions. Before we wrap up, I just want to do a quick poll to kind of gauge where you all are at. So I'm going to launch it. Let's see if I do this correctly. All right, so you should be seeing it. So we hope you apply. Who's gonna apply for an academic internship? March 24th, again, is the deadline. Sweet. Seeing some responses come in. I'll give you like 10 more seconds to answer. Cool. Seeing about like 80% yeses. It's exciting. Okay. Thanks, everyone. I'm going to close it. Cool. Like 80% of you say yes. So really exciting to see that a majority of you will be applying. And if any questions come up while you're putting together your application materials, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Here you'll see our contact information. Again, my name is Mackenzie, and you can reach me at my work email, which is mcgraves@parksconservancy.org. And then you can also reach Becca at her email, rebecca_ow@nps.gov. And again, we encourage you to check out the FAQ page on our website, as your question might be listed there. But if not, feel free to email academicintern@parksconservancy.org. Also, if you have a question for a specific mentor, you can send it to that main email address and I'll pass it on to the correct person or get the answer for you. And then you can also follow us on social media at those handles listed for other opportunities and just other general ways to interact with the park. There's just so much to do here, from volunteering to walking on all the trails, the awesome trails that are maintained here. There's so much. But again, we'll be following up with an email containing all of this info and how to apply very soon. But in general, thanks for attending today, and we hope you apply. And of course, thank you to all of our outstanding mentors who presented. We wouldn't have these awesome opportunities without you all. So thanks, everyone. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.